I am live on YouTube for anybody who wants to do that. I'll be able to throw some stuff up on the thing. And I don't know if I'm live on Instagram. There, is that it? Cool. That's it. That's awesome. Okay, so I didn't hear about a North Korea threat against us, Natty, but I'll just say this as a generic term. North Korea is always threatening us, basically. And so I'm not overly concerned about that. I don't think that they have the capability to get anything over here. Do I think it's weird all the influencers taking pics with Gypsy Rose like she's a zoo exhibit? No, I mean, they want the notoriety from it, and I think that's a lot of what it is. Let me move this down. Hello, everyone who's joining on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, X, and TikTok. We're streaming on 4 platforms right now. This is kind of a new thing. So yeah, I will try to keep up with the. Hey, Josh, you're on here instead of TikTok tonight. You missed the conversation about our little friend. They threaten us every December. The thing about Gypsy Rose, here's the thing about Gypsy Rose. She's been famous most of her life to some degree, or infamous because of what she's done. This is not going to last very long. She's going to put out some books. She's going to do these documentaries. In 6 months, nobody's going to be talking about it anymore. She never had freedom in her life. But God, they are the dumbest fucking criminals, though. That's the thing. Like, they mailed the knife to themselves. They put it on Facebook under their real names. They just, I wouldn't prep for doomsday, especially if you're, depending on what city you're in. They would have to hit something on the West Coast if they were going to try anything. She mailed to get Nick, but they both got arrested. That's the thing. It was never like planned well. Do I think it's weird their husband was a fan? Maybe. I don't know. She's here. I think that I'm not trying to like whatever with Gypsy Rose, but I think that if she really wanted to kill her mom or take her mom's life, because we ought to be nice to TikTok. And by the way, anybody, I have also the comment sections for both YouTube and Instagram up. So if you guys want to ask or say something, you all are welcome to, and I will respond to it. I'm going to try to keep up with all of them. But her mom apparently was really bad about. Well, I'll give you guys 2 kind of theories on this. Her mom, number one, was not good at taking her medicine, so she was diabetic. So that was a problem by too much. They could have done like an accidental thing with insulin, not too much insulin, not enough insulin, not getting her help when she was going into like a diabetic situation, etc. They could have done that, and then neither one of them would have ever gone to jail because you would have never actually known. That's the first thing I'm going to say. And the second thing I'm going to say is I think that Gypsy, to a degree, was probably, her life was at risk, because I get that she's saying that she thinks that was the only way she could get out, but she could have done it in a different way, is what I'm saying, Michelle. Like, she could have, both of them had, Gypsy was on so many medications for, Munchausen by proxy, for all these fake illnesses. The mom was on a shit ton of medicines. All you had to do was mess with the medicine, and that's what it would have looked like. It would have looked like an overdose or diabetic attack or something like that. That was one thing that could have been done. The other thing, too, is I think that the more Gypsy questioned the reality of her situation, there was an opportunity for her mom might have done the exact same thing, So her mom might have taken Gypsy's life. So I think that you had issues there regardless. Now, did either one of them deserve to die? No. The mom should have been in prison. Gypsy should definitely have gone to prison. My wife and I were talking about today, perhaps Gypsy should have been in longer than 10 years. Now, Nick, at the beginning of all this, before I knew the full story on Nick, I used to think that, he didn't deserve life without parole. And maybe he doesn't deserve to be in prison, but he definitely needs to be in a mental facility. And he does not need to be out. He still shows violent tendencies. He's not sorry. There's no remorse, anything like that. So that's kind of the how I will answer that, I suppose. So he had a past criminal record too. Yeah. Yeah, she took the plea deal, but I get that. I'm just saying, but they could have like, okay, we'll take life in prison off the table for you, or we'll take, instead of doing, 40 years for this, you'll do 20 years, or you'll do 15 years. I just think 10. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people in prison who regret what they did. It doesn't mean they're getting out. At the end of the day, she did something that was highly illegal. I'm glad. Look, it's kind of a double-edged sword here, because I'm glad that she's going to finally get to live a life of freedom. She's finally going to have real freedom for the first time in her life ever. Okay. And I think that that's great. Yeah, she does show remorse. And so that's different. But, I don't know. I'm still looking, by the way, at you guys on Instagram and on YouTube. Any questions that y'all have, definitely feel free to ask, because we will answer any of those. Because I do want to start doing a lot more on YouTube, because TikTok pisses me off. You know what I can probably do on the 3 platforms, though, on Instagram, YouTube, and this? I'm going to try something real quick. If I'm able to do this. Because I can't show stuff on TikTok that I can do on those 2 platforms. Josh, are you still in here? Out of curiosity. Any updates about Iowa? The school shooting. So I'll be very candid with you. I know the school shooting happened. I know the bulk that we all knew yesterday. You're on both. Awesome. So Josh is here. Josh Kerr. He is a real life friend, and he has been so incredible in helping us with merch that people might actually want. Y'all should definitely give him a follow. He also is a photographer for real life. So if you're in the Nashville area, it is a Georgia Southern hat. Y'all, I'm going to give him a shout out and tell y'all that you should use him. So let me see if I can share this. Share. Awesome. I can do this. Let me make myself smaller. All right, cool. Then that gets rid of me. Okay, so I'll go back to this. So what I want to show y'all is kind of what he's done. So by the way, this is by the way, for if you're on, absolutely. And we're going to show you, I can't show y'all here, but on YouTube and on Instagram and I guess Twitter, this will be seen maybe. I don't know. I might be frozen on Instagram. I can't tell. But so this is my site, justontiktok.com. If you guys want to order one of my books here, you can do that here. But what I'm going to really show you is I'm going to take you down here to the merch store. And I'm going to show you some of what Josh has kind of been helping me do. So you go down here. We have some merch, guys. Some pretty fun stuff. Thank you, Doug. And we can go to view all. So I'm just kind of showing you some of what we're doing. We got a lot of these little pins coming in that y'all might like. And I'll get off this a second. And this one right here, people seem to really like. But Josh helped design this right here, like all of these sayings, the way they look. And what we have coming up, I can see if I can show you guys. I don't think I got to download this one earlier, Josh. Hold on. Because I was out when that happened. All right. Let me get rid of these 2. Hold on. Y'all are going to love this. By the way, if you guys want to go to the YouTube channel, it's Justin on TikTok also, just to kind of let y'all know. Did I just resend that to you? Okay, we got this one that we did too. All right. All right, so now let me see if I can show you all these 2. All right. Then share screen, window. Okay, so this is one of the other things that's coming up for merch that we're going to be doing. We're talking about all sorts of things, but I'm just showing this real quick. Hey, everybody that is on, again, Insta. And I don't know if I'm frozen on Insta or not. I can't tell. Maybe not. I don't know. It says I'm live. I'm going to check that there. Yep. No, I don't want to hear myself. Okay, there we go. So that's one thing that we're doing. And then the other one, you got, I definitely can't show this on TikTok. They would be unhappy with me. but we're also going to do this one. Oh, where the hell did it go? This one. We're talking about all sorts of stuff, guys. Okay, I'm good on Instagram. Okay, cool. Apparently, I'm showing the window of a window of a window. Let me do that. Hold on. Present shares. We'll try this one more time. Window share. There we go. That's going to be another thing. It's got a gray background because it's a PNG file, but we're going to be putting on this. Can you speed tap on YouTube? I have no idea. I only go through YouTube through a thing called. Okay, we're going to talk about Epstein here in about 2 seconds, and we'll talk about Soto, and we'll talk about some more Gypsy and some other stuff that y'all want to know about for sure. But so I wanted to show some of this stuff if y'all want to order it just on TikTok.com, and then yeah. Anyways. So that being said, let's talk about the Epstein stuff first, because I think that that's really important. So the first thing I want to say about Epstein is we had more. I have not had a chance to go through any of the documents that were dropped in the last day or so. Okay. What I can tell you though is that there have been a lot of names that have been dropped, and we're using the term list here very loosely. What it really is it's a bunch of documents that have been. And you can get to these documents, by the way, from my webpage. Also, I'm going to go to it and see if they've updated all of it. But you can get to the documents from my webpage too to go through it, and I'll tell you why that's significant in a moment. But basically, just because your name is been pulled out of this stuff, I haven't seen the second dump. The first dump is on my website. The second dump is not. But just because your name has been pulled out, it doesn't mean that you participated in some sort of illicit or nefarious activities. It could really mean one of essentially 4 things. It means, yes, you could have participated in some sort of an illicit activity like Prince Andrew has been accused of. Then you have people like David Copperfield, who was pulled out. He was only brought up simply for the fact that he did magic tricks at dinner. So his name was just brought up, is basically all that it was. The other people, there are victims on that list. There are also employees on that list. So my point is that just because you hear a name on it, you need to kind of do a little bit more digging to see why you heard that name. So, for example, one of the biggest things that I've seen kind of in arguments in the comment sections is people say Clinton's on the list, which both Hillary Clinton and Bill and Hillary Clinton are both named in these documents, as is Donald Trump. Okay. And so two different political parties, 2 groups that have, fans, for lack of a better word. If you look at what they talk about Trump, the only reason he was brought up was they said, hey, we can call on Trump while we're in Atlantic City. He was asked if they gave Trump a massage, and they said no. So there's no illicit activities on Trump's side. The same thing, believe it or not, with Bill Clinton. The only thing about, and I haven't seen with Hillary yet to see what exactly they were saying with her. I saw that came out today, but I haven't had a chance to research it. But same with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's name was brought up over 50 times in the documents. The worst thing about him was that one of the victims was told that he likes the girls young. It didn't say, there was nothing that had him listed or any of the depositions that had him doing anything illicit, which believe it me surprises me. So I'm just telling you this because there's a lot of names out there, and let's not sully people's reputations, just because their name's being brought out. That's the whole point. So anyway. Well, I mean, but it is. So people are pulling out the names that are coming out of it, and they're pouring through it. A lot of them aren't giving context. Nothing really on Bill Gates that I've seen. I've not seen Oprah's name on the first data dump. She might be on the second data dump, but I haven't seen it. But again, Tammy, even if she's on it, it doesn't mean that there's anything illicit. I would have bet money that there would have been illicit behavior from Bill Clinton. And there wasn't. So again, it doesn't mean anything necessarily. And a baby blue on TikTok says, doubtful that anyone will face any repercussions if they did engage. Probably not. Michael Jackson, didn't hear that he did anything that was improper either. They're just names that were brought up during depositions. Jimmy Kimmel's name was brought in it. I think actually Josh was telling me this. I haven't looked on my own, but I trust him. My friend Josh was telling me this too, that Jimmy Kimmel's name was brought up, but it was because they referenced his TV show. It wasn't that he even had dealings with Epstein. It was just referencing his TV show. That's it. So the point is that These are victims' depositions. There are thousands of pages of this stuff that people need to comb through and go through. And one individual, myself, couldn't do it. These news organizations have teams. I think that, you give it a few days, let the rest of the documents come out. We'll probably see the truth on a lot of these things. And the people who did do things that were illicit, they deserve, I don't care who they are, what position they hold in life, how much money they have, they should face consequences for their actions. Maybe also GT, I'm going to go have a drink. We'll answer that. Not necessarily. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, because a lot of the delays are due to victims not wanting their names released. I'll give you one specific example. There was a woman who was a victim, and she petitioned the courts. And I know that she won her petition, but she petitioned the courts because she lives in a small village, foreign country, very conservative, and if her name got out, it would basically destroy her and her family. So she asked the judge to basically redact her name, and the judge agreed. I do know that Aaron Rodgers, I know that implied Jimmy, and I know that Jimmy threatened to sue him, but the only thing I saw Michael Jackson was a victim said she met Michael because of him. I could believe that. Aaron Rodgers mentioned on Pat McAfee show on Kimmel. No, I saw that, Doug. I saw that. That's why I'm bringing it up. People have been saying like Taylor Swift as well. Taylor Swift would have been way too young. People said Justin Bieber as well, way too young. There's a picture floating around with Taylor Swift. Let me see if I can find it. I'll show it to you guys if I can on Insta and YouTube. Give me a second here. Comes up when I first do it. Images. I'm trying to get to the site so I can show y'all. Trying to make sure. I want to say I'm trying to read. Make sure I find this. All right. How to find this one. So here is the photo. Can I make it big there? Okay, cool. Now let me present the screen. This is, it's not that one. Is it this picture? No. Where is it? Let me go to this one right here. Where did my picture go? I don't want that. I just want the picture. Okay, I can move it this way. I can do it this way. All right. I'm going to make myself small and y'all big so you guys can see this. Okay, so this is the picture right here. If this is for those of y'all on TikTok, y'all can't see it, but for YouTube and Instagram, y'all can. But this is the picture that they're talking about. That this is Taylor Swift and Jeffrey Epstein. First of all, and there have been some Photoshop of this too. This is not Jeffrey Epstein, first of all. And second of all, the date this picture was taken, Epstein was already dead. And Taylor Swift is too young, yeah. But there are people out there who do things for clicks and views, That's what they do it for. They do it even if it's not legitimate, not real, what have you. So I'm just saying you got to take a lot of the stuff with a grain of salt. What I would, when I mentioned about the, no, it doesn't look like him, but there is a Photoshop version of it too, Emily. So that's why I brought it up. There is one where somebody's kind of superimposed his face. And I've seen that one. I can't find it right this second. I have to dig a little bit more because I wasn't prepared to bring that up. But you can very, very clearly tell it's Photoshopped. So anyways, Justin Bieber's too young too, 100%. But there are people out there, and I talked about this too. With the Gabby Petito case, this happened. There are people that put out fake things. Brian Laundrie on a boat. During the Idaho case, the fake scream, the fake people or whatever, there was a couple of videos. And those were all, both of those, the Gabby Petito one and the Idaho one, those were both the same person that did it. That's fine, Abby. I've been on here very long. So what I would recommend you doing, if you are truly curious about the person whose name you've heard or seen come out associated with the Epstein document drop, what I would encourage you to do is there's two of them. The first half of the document, the first 2,024 pages, I put a link to on my website, justinontiktok.com. Michelle, the answer to your question is why do people put out things that are fake? It's money. No, Prince Andrew definitely played with a puppet while fondling a girl. Prince Andrew's a freaking pervert. That one is legit. That one, he did do things illicit. But what I would recommend that you do is take the name that you have, go into the documents, hit Control F, search for their name, and read what it says in the deposition, because some of it could be just truly things. So Stephen Hawking, I've heard, so there's things that say, I've heard two different things. What I've seen from a document perspective was that they talked about him participating in an orgy. I don't necessarily know how that could happen. I'm not saying it's not true. At the same time, there have been things that come out and said that, well, that's not really what it says. And I just haven't had, well, Taylor Swift is not. I think you mean a Satanist, Jenny, and I don't think that Taylor Swift is a Satanist. But my point is that you want to search the documents and see what happens first, because you don't want to hastily accuse somebody for something that they didn't do. Just because you knew Epstein didn't mean that you did anything wrong. The challenge with Jeffrey Epstein was that this is a man who spent his entire life trying to be elite. He was a billionaire. He learned everything he could about everything he could to be, fine wines, fine food, caviar, get in the circles of these high-powered politicians, get in the circles of these high-powered Hollywood types. That is what he did. That is who he was. And he was also a pedophile, Did I go to Georgia Southern? I did go to Georgia Southern for 4.5 years and then had to finish up at Kennesaw State because I had such a good time at Georgia Southern. We had so much hype and doesn't really reveal. No, it really, Doug, you're right. There isn't really anything that's overly surprising. In fact, if anything, to me, what's most surprising about the document drops is the fact that some of the people that I would have, again, Bill Clinton, I would have bet money that Bill Clinton would have had something, that there would have been something illicit that he would have been accused of. Even if not Hillary, Bill. And I'm going to go and say it too, even though I probably shouldn't. Same thing with kind of Trump. Trump fought so hard against his dealings with Epstein and the way he talked about it. It seemed to me that he was kind of like Alan Dershowitz did. It seemed like they were trying to hide something, but it turns out they weren't. Alan Dershowitz, maybe not. I don't know. But Alan Dershowitz was Epstein's attorney, so he had to know what was going on. Yes, it is a Camp Anawana shirt. I like to do weird shirts on live or fun shirts on live. I even had some followers send me shirts. And if anybody wants to send me a shirt, as long as it's appropriate, I will wear any shirt you send me on the live or a video or both. I've not seen Cat Williams' interview, so I hope I'll have to check that out. So, and that's for, and again, by the way, for those of y'all watching, I'm also on YouTube and Instagram at this very moment. So for anybody who wants to, look at any of that, y'all are welcome to find me there as well. TikTok has done a great job pissing me off this week, so I'm going to try to do more on another. If you send me an NC State shirt, you bet your ass I'll wear it. What do you think about the story about blackmailing the Jews? Which story is that specifically? Thoughts on Aaron Rodgers bringing up Jimmy Kimmel? I think he got himself into a world of hurt. Jimmy Kimmel's name did come out of the document dump for sure, but it was because his show was referenced. Hey, John, how are you, buddy? I think Aaron, people need to not pop off at the mouth. That's just kind of what it is. You as well, buddy. Oh, by the way, John, since you're here, specifically you, you'll go to the thumbnails. You're going to love this. Go to the thumbnails in my profile and you'll see one with a pink Mercedes. Click on that and watch that. You're going to laugh your ass off. I've not seen anything that mentions King Charles. How do I go live on multiple platforms? Hey, Jenny, that's a great question. So I use a platform called StreamYard. That's how I record my podcasts. And I do streaming for YouTube because it's a great interface because I can bring up things and show y'all things and whatnot. And they allow me to go live on multiple platforms. So I'm also live on, like I said, Instagram and X at the same time. I can go live on Twitch too. I think I only have like 1 follower or 19 followers on Twitch. Not very many on Twitch, so I don't really do much with that. But yeah, I just use that, and that's one thing that does it. Okay, so let me answer the question on Savannah Soto first. So for that one in particular, they made an arrest for. Okay, for those of y'all who don't know the Savannah Soto case, and then I'll answer your question, Heather, on Gypsy Rose too. Yeah, it's called StreamYard. Thank you, Carol. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Savannah Soto case, basically what that is that if you haven't heard about it, it's an 18-year-old woman who was pregnant in San Antonio. She was due to induce in like 1 or 2 days, and her boyfriend and her basically got themselves caught up in a drug deal. I'm guessing I haven't heard any more information that has come out today, but my guess is that the boyfriend was involved in a drug deal, took her along with him, and basically they both ended up dead. The car was dumped at an apartment complex with them in it. Footage shows somebody coming in, wiping down the car. They basically moved them and tried to get them out of the way and stuff like that. When they ended up arresting a father and son, what they've said is that the father was not involved in pulling the trigger, but he was called to help clean up, and that the son was the one who pulled the trigger, and it was a drug deal gone bad. I think it's an incredibly tragic situation. We are expecting charges to be brought up on them for the baby, because it was a full-term baby. She was literally going to be induced in like 1 or 2 days. I think it's an incredibly sad case. Texas has a death penalty. They like to use it. Hopefully they do. Because, at the end of the day, I don't think this guy should have taken his girlfriend his 9-month pregnant girlfriend to a drug deal, So the next question was my thoughts on Gypsy Rose. So I don't know what you're saying. Tell it's a full-term baby to the libs. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. So Heather, we gotta go back to your question. I'm going to look for your response here. What specifically do you want to know my thoughts on Gypsy Rose on? Because that is her case. That is just a whole thing. Did the mom get arrested too? I know she was, for sure. I don't think the mom's gotten. I don't know if the mom was involved or not. I've not heard that. As of the other night when we watched the Perp Walk live, there were only 2 people that were arrested, and they basically kind of left it at that. We're talking about Lynette Savannah Soto. Now it talks about third suspect, whoever handed dad the towel in the truck. Gotcha. Okay. I've not heard that yet, but I haven't really looked at it today either. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate that. Now talks of a third suspect. Okay. He's one for cruel, malicious acts. I don't know. There's going to be more charges. Hey, in Dallas. Funniest thing ever. Just like, yeah. No, that's not the same car, John. I got it. I sold that one and got a different one. What happened in Miami? So I have not seen the whole thing, and thank you, Miss Jackie's, for the thing. Supposedly there's an alien spotted in Miami. Let me Google, because I haven't really seen much on it. Let me Google it real quick. I know that the other night we were live and we saw like probably 100 cars there. Conspiracy theorists. Okay, let's see what really happened. No aliens, UFOs, or ETs. Please clear up social media speculation. This was 11 minutes ago, guys. Now viral video shows heavy police presence at Miami Bayside, which is an outdoor mall marketplace on New Year's. Police confirmed they were responding to a large fight that broke out among a group of teenagers, which resulted in multiple arrests. This was on Monday. However, some users have taken to social media to share theories about whether something more was going on to spark such a large fleet of officers. Conspiracy theories range from airport shutdowns to the most popular hunch, alien invasions. After days of social media buzz, the City of Miami Police Department set the record straight today, saying that nothing is being withheld from the public. Police reiterated that the heavy presence was, as previously reported, caused by the brawl that broke out among a group of juveniles. And I'm going to pause there real quick and say that there was a brawl that broke out here in where I live, Jesus Christ, Nashville. And it was reported initially as, gunshots, because apparently what happened is these teens got into a brawl. They were throwing metal chairs hitting the floor, sounded like gunshots to the people who were there. I never lived in Alabama, no, Jules. I used to date a girl who went to Auburn, and I would go see her occasionally, but that was many, 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 many years ago. And that was the case. But the police in that there was probably 60 plus police plus plus SWAT that responded in Nashville. So with the kind of climate that we have now when it comes to these types of events and mass killings and these types of spaces, I think police have to respond in a large presence. Because also, yeah, here it is. According to the arrest report, the teams were also lighting loud firework, which caused panic because it sounds like gunshots. So that's what happened in Miami, y'all. Gypsy Rose, I think everyone intrigued at South Africa becoming a celebrity. I mean, I think that Gypsy Rose. Okay, so we're in Ireland. See me, oh, thank you. We love the Irish. I have a DeLorean, so we especially love the Irish. Gypsy Rose, I think everyone is intrigued in South Africa becoming a celebrity. I think that I think that Lynette, a lot of people share that same sentiment that you have, because she's a felon. She's a released felon. So here's where I'm at on it. Whether you think that she should have served more time or not, at this point, it's irrelevant. It's kind of like the Idaho House, right? Whatever we think, it doesn't matter at this point because what's done is done. Gypsy Rose is out. The Idaho House is torn down. There's nothing we can do about that. Gypsy Rose, in my opinion, lived a life where she was in a prison. She was going to be in a prison one way or the other, whether it was with her mom or whether it was within an actual prison. And Gypsy Rose made the decision that an actual prison was going to be better for her than the prison that she was in. And quite frankly, I believe that as Gypsy was finding out more and going against her mom, that her mom could have easily taken Gypsy's life using the medications that she was on because she didn't want to get found out or whatever, And so now, and I think that Gypsy, if she really wanted to kill her mom, there was other ways that she could have gone about doing it. At the end of the day, Gypsy's mom deserved to be sitting in jail, and Gypsy deserved to get therapy. The decisions that she made took that decision away from anybody, and that's what's out. I do believe that she is remorseful. I believe that she feels bad about the situation. My personal opinion is she should have spent at least another 5 to 10 years in prison. But nevertheless, the first time in her life, she is actually free. And I hope that she does well with the notoriety and the freedom that she has and has a good rest of her life. That's all I can say about that. But at the same time, in the same regard, the news cycle is quick. This is temporary. Gypsy Rose, these documentaries are going to come out. She's going to write probably a couple books. There might be a movie. And then that'll be that. You won't really hear much about it anymore. Think about how many cases you followed for a long time, people that you know that you don't really ever hear about anymore. And you might hear their name and be like, oh, that's, whatever. But it's not like the big to-do that you have now. So let me look real quick. I'm trying to go back and read because I like to try. For those of y'all who are new here, I really try to interact with y'all and answer all of your questions. So I'm scrolling back to do that. And if I do miss your question, it's not on purpose. Just make sure to ask it again because I do try to, like I said, I try to interact with all of y'all because I wouldn't have a platform without you guys. And truth be told, too, I hate when I go into lives and nobody interacts with me when I ask questions. It's annoying. So I try to make sure I interact with you guys. At this moment, I'm more annoyed that Oscar is out. Yeah. Absolutely love me. What about her boyfriend? You mean her husband, the boyfriend, Nick? I think that he deserves. So initially when this all started, I was like, I don't think he should have gotten life without parole. Knowing more information now, I believe that he needs to be in a mental institution, probably more than a prison, but he is not remorseful. He has mental issues, and he needs serious psychiatric help. How is she getting around the Son of Sam law? I don't know if she is or she's not. I don't know how she, you can't profit off the death. But if she makes a video or a book or something like that talking about her life, there are ways and good lawyers and people who want her story that will pay her, that won't go around the law. And on top of that, with some of the documentaries, we don't know if she is actually getting paid on some of them. I can tell you with firsthand knowledge that, and I know it's a very different situation. If you remember the Gabby Petito case, whenever the Petitos went on something, they didn't get paid for it. So they don't always pay people. I know that when I've done documentaries and stuff, they don't pay. I've never been paid for a documentary that I've been in. Next question, Jules. I'm going to pin your question because it's a good question. Have you heard about the missing girls from Kingsport? I know you're talking about. I'm blanking on the second girl's name, but Layla Santinello. I'm going to be doing some more TikTok content on Layla Santinello. I'm going to get the podcast uploaded on YouTube as well. But I did my latest podcast episode, which is 50 Words for Murder. You can get to it through the link in my bio or listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts. And 50 is 50. The latest episode was with Jennifer Santinello, Layla's mom. So yes, we are. That is something we're talking about for sure. Do I watch Murder in Boston? Honestly, I've not had time to turn on TV for myself. I tried to turn it on the other day to start the act myself because my wife's been watching it. I got 30 minutes in and had to turn it off and go do something else. Not because I wasn't interested. It was very interesting, but it's a time thing. I could be watching TV right now, or I could be on live with y'all. I'd rather be on live with you guys. What do you think about the aliens in Miami? So that we just read about the whole thing. So it wasn't aliens. It's a conspiracy theory. It was basically just a bunch of juveniles in a brawl. The large police response was due to fireworks being set off, which made it sound like gunshots, basically. Which that happened about a week ago in Nashville as well, where it was not fireworks, but a chair and a bunch of teens fighting. Any updates on the Tupac case? Not really, but you can expect updates coming up in the not terribly, terribly distant future. So I know that we have that, and I'm going to continue covering the Tupac case. I'm also going to be covering Diddy because I am thoroughly convinced that Diddy is responsible, that he paid for the hit on Tupac Shakur, and nobody will convince me otherwise. Yep, I went to Georgia Southern for 4.5 years, and I had such a good time, Mimi, that I had to leave Georgia Southern. You've been here since the banner. You've been here for a long time, Maggie. If you've been here since the banner. Just my opinion. I don't think the Gypsy deserved any jail time because of everything she endured. No, so I totally get what you're saying, and I'm not discounting what you're saying at all. I think that what she endured was terrible. It was a prison, and I think that her life was at stake. At the same time, she took somebody's life in a violent way, or she's responsible for somebody's life being taken in a violent way. So you have to pay some kind of penalty for that, even if it was under, for lack of a better word, best of circumstances. What docs have so many cops for a shadow? It wasn't a shadow. That's the thing, is it wasn't a shadowy vet. It was a bunch of teens fighting and sitting off fireworks, which sounded like gunshots. So in Nashville, when we had a fight here at Opry Mills Mall, the police responded in a similar amount of law enforcement and cars and everything, and it was because it was reported as gunshots being fired. And I'm sure this was the same thing. That's how they have to unfortunately respond in those types of active shooter situations. Fortunately, neither one of them were active shooter situations, but they don't know that till they get there. I forgot what your shirt is, but yes, we're going to make it, Judy. If Josh is still in here, you can say what you wanted to say on it, and Josh can look at it and he can take it and run with it. And that's on YouTube. What documentaries have I been in? There's one, the Gabby Petito one on Hulu, which I forget the name of it. I've been in that. I'm briefly in the one for Bob Saget because I was doing some on that when he passed away because it was a weird situation. And then if you're in the UK, there's like a 3-part series on Gabby Petito, and I was in all 3 parts of that. So, and I think there was one more, but I'm forgetting what it was. And then I won't give too many more details, but there's another creator who I'm friends with on this app who one network is looking at doing a show with her. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, we'll do that one too. And she brought me on basically as like a thing. So if that ever goes out, then I'll be in that one too. And then fun fact that some of y'all knew, but a lot of y'all don't. I also got married on reality TV, so then there's that as well. How about that crazy dude that attacked the judge in court? I've not gotten a chance to look into it. I've seen the video, Big Sky Guy, but I've not seen what exactly happened. To be very frank with you, TikTok has been over the last few days, and I'm sure you've seen it with other creators. Tizian said the same thing. But Judy, you got it right, by the way. We're just not pushing our videos out. Well, today another creator said, we'll delete the app and put it back in. It seems to be working fine as of now. So, but I had not really been, just to be completely transparent with y'all, I don't want to put in several hours of watching that I'm watching things and getting information for it to not go anywhere. It's very frustrating. The report from the authorities to news reported was, I can't speak to that. I can just tell you what Miami is saying now, that nothing is being withheld from from the public. That might have been how it was reported, but that's not how it ended up being. All right. I'm so happy Layla's mom is finally getting her story. I am too. I'm very happy that story. That's the story. I'm going to pause this real quick and just not pause, but I'm going to I'm going to do this real quick. And basically, if you do not know the story about Layla Santanello, please educate yourself in it. Whether it's, I will be doing videos on it soon. I did a whole podcast episode you can listen to with Layla's mom. It is a very strange story. Another girl that fits a very similar description to Layla, runs in the same friend groups, also disappeared. And it's like they disappeared off the face of the earth, like never to be seen from again. It's crazy. So please educate, because their story really needs to be out more. In the event that these girls are still alive, we definitely want to get them found. So I just want to put that in there real quick. Extradition for Colorado Springs mom captured in UK could take months and not quick. I read local news. Okay, Doug, great question. So for those of y'all, are y'all familiar with this story? I'm gonna see if there's any latest news. I'm not saying that real quick, but let me get this pulled up. I'm gonna give y'all a recap on it too. If there's any more, I want to make sure there's nothing like recent updates. So, woman named Kimberly Singler, basically killed two of her children, injured a third, and then she got on a plane and flew to the UK, where she was ultimately arrested. On New Year's Day, she was in front of a judge, and the judge basically for an extradition hearing, and she basically said that she does not consent to extradition, and she's sitting in a UK prison or jail right now. And there's supposed to be another hearing, I want to say January 26th, but don't quote me on that date. And so what Doug here is saying is that apparently that it could take months and not quick for the extradition process, which is probably what she wants. All right. I'm getting to all your questions. By the way, I'm not missing anybody's question. I'm going back and I'm trying to go in order. I'm trying not to answer anybody's, or trying to answer everybody's question. Did I already talk about Epstein? I did, but if you have questions, we can definitely go back to it. In fact, I saw scrolling back up that there are other Epstein questions, so I will go back to that. But I'm happy to answer anything, Lens, that you have. Casey Anthony, parents on the A&E takes do I think the dad helped her? So I've not seen the lie detector test. My understanding is that he passed. It's also something that I'm probably going to stream for you guys at some point in the very near future here. So if you are interested in that, make sure you hit the follow button, of course. But I've never been fully convinced that the dad helped her. I'm interested to see what this new documentary says. Michelle agrees that he paid for the hit, that Diddy paid for the hit on Pac and Suge. You've been here since the banner too? Awesome. You've been here for a long time. Wendy Williams is writing a tell-all book about Diddy. Well, I will be buying the Audible version of that the day it comes out. Can the people named in the Epstein be charged? I'm going to start putting these comments. I'm just going in order, guys. So I'm not trying to miss anybody's stuff. It depends on what they did. If, just because somebody's name was pulled out of the Epstein documents doesn't mean that they did anything illicit. I've said this a few times. When talking about this the Epstein documents, you really have to do your due diligence and take it kind of with a grain of salt, because there's basically four types there's basically four reasons why your name might be in these documents. Number one is you did something illicit and you need to be charged. Do I think that somebody like Prince Andrew is going to get charged? No, I don't. I think that, you're dealing with elites and you're dealing with money. And I think that a lot of them are insulated. I think anybody who did anything illicit, especially with underage girls and dealt with trafficking, needs to be charged and needs to be held accountable. At the same time, you could also be mentioned just because you're an associate. Donald Trump's name, for example, was brought up simply for the fact that they talked about calling on him when he was in Atlantic City, and one of the victims was asked if they gave him a massage, and they said no. Okay. Believe it or not, same thing with Clinton. His name was brought up 50 times. The only thing negative about him was that apparently one of the victims was told by Epstein that Clinton liked girls young, which, I mean, shit, we already all knew that. So anyways. The other two, employees and victims also. What do I think about Gypsy's What do I think about Gypsy's husband and mom looking alike? I think that they do kind of look alike. I think that there is a resemblance there. At the same time, I think that Gypsy probably has a lot of trauma and a lot of issues she needs to work through, and that could be why she subconsciously chose to be with somebody who looks like, I'm not trying to psychoanalyze her. I don't have the credentials to do that. But that's why I think that perhaps she, maybe subconsciously married somebody who looks kind of like her mom. That's just my personal opinion. There's no like whatever to that. Okay, so I think shouldn't think that should be okay. What about your wedding show? Don't forget that. I was married on reality TV, Gina. I think you probably knew that. If you want to watch that episode, it's very boring. It's called The Swan de Rosa. It was a show that was on CMT, lasted 6 episodes. We were the pilot episode. If you want to watch it, just on TikTok.com, scroll down and you can actually watch the episode if you like. My friend was the one who, okay. So I forget the name of the place, the restaurant, but I know what you're talking about. So interesting. It's such a tragedy. The Murder of Gabby Petito or Beyond the Headlines on Hulu. I think I'm in, I don't remember which one I'm in. I think Beyond the Headlines, Chinnan, but I could be in both. I did a lot of things for Gabby Petito documentaries and signed a lot of releases back then. Well, are they ever going to charge the laundry parents? Stephanie, no, probably not, unless, I am still married. My wife and I have been together since 2006. We've been together. We got married in 2011. I'm not going anywhere. I love her to death. She's my best friend. So that's just, how that's going to be. Are they going to charge? But anyways, to answer your question about charging the laundries, let me pin this for you. I doubt it. Now, I said this the other night in my sub live, and I will say it here. If you can prove that she did something, which, proving that she, they never said anything. So proving that she knew more than she did, the letters have that, but they're probably never going to make anything of that and send her to jail. Now, if you could prove she did something like, say, shoot her own son, then yeah, she could go to prison. Jaron, it was called the Swan de Rosa. Let me just go back up. Have I ever covered the Caitlin Armstrong? I've never heard of that case, a Texas teaching gal. It was called the Swan de Rosa, and it was back in 2011, Jaron. That was scary, the tackle the guy does on the judge. I know. I need to go back and see exactly what that was. Deleting the app does delete your drafts, and I was very sad to delete my drafts. Yay, my new website deleted the thing, so I'm glad that video came out. That video, by the way, was sitting in the video that you're talking about, Carter, was sitting and processing for like 38 hours. Let me scroll up. Again, I try to reach you. Yep. Baby Below is married on reality TV. I think I just told y'all where that is. If they are minors, it takes longer for Married at First Sight. I don't know anything about Married at First Sight. I know that the show exists, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm just full of all sorts of crazy shit. Oh, thank you, Kylie. I appreciate that. I appreciate you trying to. Oh, I don't need fame. I'm okay with that. Thank you, Saber, for the follow. Casey Anthony parents on taking the. So I have not had a chance, Heather, to watch it. I've heard that they passed it, and I've heard that the show was boring, but we still might stream it. What's going on with the Iowa case? I'm assuming you mean the shooting, and I've not seen. I knew what was happening when it was happening. Like I knew that I knew about the injuries and the deaths. I know that a sixth grader, 11, 12-year-old was shot. I think I don't remember if he died or not. Hey Fatima, how are you doing? And I haven't really done any updates since. I know that the mom was also trying to scrub social media. Oh, the Idaho case. Yeah, nothing. There's another hearing. Hopefully on the 26th. I think it's the 26th. There's going to be a hearing where Ann Taylor's doing a motion to try to throw something else out. I forget what, but she's always trying to throw something out. It won't happen. And then there's another hearing to hopefully schedule the actual trial date. That is the hope. Hey, Gabby. What are the American thoughts on JonBenet? We're actually going to do, I'm probably going to pair up with Sojo, and we're probably going to do something regarding JonBenet. That is not like a simple, let's answer that just. Yeah, Judy, I'm going to follow the Crumbly's trial too. Ethan Crumbly, the Michigan shooter, his parents. The JonBenet one is not like a quick question and answer thing. That one, that's a whole live dedicated to that. Natty, I don't know if you heard when I said it earlier, I was on a show called The Swanderosa. They decided to release up on the Idaho case. Hey, Meredith, hope you're doing well too. Can we see his next court is January 29th? Okay, it's the 29th. Thank you for correcting me. I'm way behind, guys. Did you read about Kimmel? The only thing I heard about Kimmel was that the show was mentioned, and I know that Aaron Rodgers said stuff about him, but if there's anything new that's come out, I've not seen that. Hail Southern. Will you be in the HBO one? My friend got filmed. I've not been asked to film for anything on HBO. I'm way behind. I hope they get taken for all they're worth, but I do too. I hope that the Petitos take them for all they're worth, Jess, too. That shows you where I'm at. I'm behind. You have me on all 3 platforms. Well, I'm on 4 platforms, so which one are you missing, Chinnan? I'm on Instagram, YouTube, X, and this one. All right. By the way, let me see real quick. If y'all want to do something fun, this right here is my wife. And if you would like to follow her, she pretty much never posts, but when she does, it's gold. She posts like twice a year. But happy Friday, tap. I'm missing anybody's questions. I don't mean to. The Soto case. Well, the Soto case, Tammy. I mean, it's a drug deal gone wrong. He should have never taken her there. Hey, Back to the Future girl. What's up with you? The Savannah Soto baby Matt Murray. Well, we've talked about that. I mean, it's tragic. They're expecting Brandy more charges to come out on it. Yeah, go follow. Just go hit the follow button. We're just trying to get rid of 10,000 for no reason. We really have no reason. We're just trying to do that to see if we can. I mean, I'm interested to see what more charges come, and I'd like to know exactly what was going on with the drug deal, and I think we're going to know more soon. Do you get paid when I appear in docs? No, I've never made any money for any documentary I've been in. Not a dime. Believe me, I'd love to, but I do it for the exposure. Does anyone here know any update on the Chad Dorman case? The guy I know. I've not seen any updates on him. Let me just look it up. Let's see what we got. Let's look at it right now. So last update for him was a month ago. And he showed up in court. Let's see. So for those of y'all who may or may not remember this, Chad Doerman shot his 3, 4, and 7-year-old son. One of them in the back, at least one of them back while they were running. And he showed up in court. He's not been disrupted, not caused any problems. He's compliant. Okay, so they're saying he might not have to be restrained. There's 30 motions currently pending in the case. This was a month ago. The request from the defense to exclude some photographs in the trial. The defense acknowledged their motion was unspecific and may be premature, but they wanted to plant the fence post in the capital crimes record. They also asked that the jury pool be allowed to include convicted felons who had served their sentence, which is interesting. And the thought there must be that if you've been convicted by a jury to serve time, you might be sympathetic to a defendant. And that's what you have going on right now. So that's your update on that. You're not on it. Okay, that's up there. So I'm trying to scroll down and see your questions. We have an underreported case we'd like you to bring light to if you'd be interested. Maggie, shoot me an email, Justins, Justins, on TikTok @gmail.com. Shoot me an email about it. Oh, you're fine, Brian. I know people come in and out, so you're good. What happened in Miami? A bunch of rumors started coming out. Posey Rose. Let me pin your comment so people know what we're talking about. Basically, all it was a brawl. Large police responded because fireworks were being shot off too, which sounded like gunshots. But there are no shadow people or aliens, apparently. Thank you, Doug. I think I got the shirt at Either got to Target or Five Below. Chad Doberman is starting 8th of July this year. They think it'll be 4 weeks. Yeah, he's going to be convicted for sure. Okay, I think I caught up on y'all's questions. We're doing pretty good here. Throw them at me. Five Below. Alyssa says, my wife says Five Below. All right, so we talked about the crimes. I will say, if anybody wants to ask me, because this was going on the last couple lives I've done. If anybody wants to ask me any narcissistic questions, oh, you did ask that, Cedar, and I totally forgot to answer it. If you guys want to ask me stuff about narcissistic content or parents or whatever, let me know. How did we get married on reality TV? Let me pin this comment. So my wife was so before we got married on reality TV, our budget was cheap. We were very poor. We didn't have money. Neither one of our family was really contributing to it. And so we were just doing it on our own, and we had like a $5,000 budget, and 3 of that had gone to the dress. And so my wife was looking to get on Say Yes to the Dress. And when she got called by the producers or the casting or whatever, saying that, hey, we're not doing Say Yes to the Dress in your area, but we are doing this other show. Would you be interested? So we said, yeah. We went out and met. They liked us. They put us on the show. We were the pilot episode, and we basically got like $100,000 wedding for free. All we spent really money on was the dress. And that was it. So it's all to my wife. Core memory Nickelodeon in the 90s was, 90s Nick was amazing. Brodsky was going for the death penalty. Doing, you know what, Marion? I'm a proponent of the death penalty. I totally support it, and in this case especially, his crime was especially heinous. It was called the Swanderosa, Sam. If you want to see it, if y'all want to bore yourself with it, I don't have a beard in it, and they put way too much makeup on me, so I look like I belong in a coffin. But if you want to go watch it, it's you can go to the link in my bio, justontiktok.com, and scroll down to the link section, and there's a link to it if y'all want to watch it. Looking to go into 90s Con, that would be fun. Drake and Josh, yep, that's a great show. I'm a big more of a Keenan Peele. If none of y'all have ever asked your Alexa devices, who loves orange soda, you're missing out. I'm just telling you that. Daddy Jada, thank you for the follow. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Okay, it's Justin J. Well, you can also, by the way, get to my a link to my email at the website too. But it's Justin JUSTINS on TikTok at Gmail. So we did have to move our date up months, and hardly anyone we knew we could attend. My mom faked a seizure at our wedding. My mom not only faked a seizure at our wedding. I was whispering, Maggie. I was trying not to. Not only did my mom fake a seizure at our wedding, she also snubbed the bride completely. Some of y'all have not listened to my story times, and it shows. the seizure part's not on the show. That just happened. She faked a seizure. Yep. She did talk shit about my wife the whole time. Yeah. Have you ever been to Fanfare, CMA Fest? I'm not a country music person, so I don't really do anything country music related. I'm not a fan of country music. There are songs here and there that I like, but not a fan typically. My mom also wore Black Carter to our wedding. My mom did wear that too. Did that also. Thank you, Lisa Marie, for the follow. That's why, y'all, I wrote a book. So yeah, it's I don't know Jelly Roll. I've heard people talk about Jelly Roll. I know a lot of people do, but I've never heard any of their stuff, to be quite frank with you. Do you know why she acted that way, Jenny? That's because she's a toxic narcissist, and the attention was not on her that day. I mean, your book was sent out, and for those of y'all who ordered pins, I'll show y'all what I got. Hold on, y'all like this? This is the envelopes ended up being way too big, but I'm gonna send them anyway. For those of y'all who ordered pins and stuff, this is what y'all are getting for the envelope. I think they're really pretty, and the pins are this big, so it's a little overkill. Maybe we'll fold it over or something, tape it. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, I added a bunch of pins, Carter, to the site today. Oh, sorry, Sam asked. I didn't mean to miss. No, I've been no contact. It'll be 5 years, Sam, in February. She also has never met my daughter. That was her choice, basically. You know, I did it for you guys. I did it for you, Chinnen. I got this for you. Not really, but cut the envelopes, and tape the ends. I'm too lazy for that. I'm just gonna fold them over and tape the ends. I'm just gonna do this and fold them like that. That's what I'm gonna do. Well, this is gonna use it for Poshmark too. So, anyway, it's just Oh, that's terrible. Which did you get a hardcover or soft cover? I'm sorry. No, I appreciate that. I'll order new envelopes. Hardcover. Yeah, I was hard to find things that would fit the book. I'll try to find. I appreciate you talking about. I'll order new envelopes right now. I appreciate you sharing that. I know you're joking. How big are these books? I have a thing too, so I can probably. Wish I had a hardcover with me. I have a soft cover, but it'll help me. It'll help me figure out how to measure. I happen to have a tape measure right here, so that works out really well. Why am I? There's something wrong with me, guys. I'm having a stroke again. I'll get bubble mailers. I think how much are these? These are nice. I really appreciate you sharing that. I don't want that to happen again. These are expensive. They're pretty though. Yeah. Anyways. What are all those things behind you hanging on the wall? They pretty well, this is a sign, but everything else on this wall, everything that you see is signed. They're all autographs. Everything, all the way down to there. Volleyball. I think this would fit them. Temu has pretty cheap. I'll leave it to Temu, man. I want to know the centimeters to do Temu, though. I'll go ahead and order them because they might be here before the new books get here. This one's one of my favorites because my friend actually got me this. My friend took the picture and actually got that one for me. I got Johnny to sign it. Have you bought anything off TikTok Shop yet? Yes. You left Hey Dude. This is I like Hey Dude too. Social Worker. Actually, you definitely should see my book. I wrote a book called Boundaries. It's a child's book, and what it does. Let me do this real quick for anybody who's on the other platforms as well. So I'm ignoring YouTube over there. So I have talked about the Savannah Soto case too. Your books came in fine. You didn't want to look alive. I don't mind at all that you did that. I appreciate you doing that. Honestly, I think the exposure is great, and I think that's incredibly generous of you, Fatima. Thank you for doing that. I'm glad they came in okay. But I wrote this book. It's called Boundaries, and basically what it's about is a little girl who wonders why she doesn't see one of her sets of grandparents, and it's typically because, or in this particular case, it's because that dad's no contact because of the toxicity. This is a way to help explain no contact while you're in no contact with a family member, in a way that doesn't vilify that person, in a way that's easy for kids to understand. And I wrote it because 26% of millennial are and Gen Z are no contact with a family member. But then after explaining why you're no contact, it then goes on to talk about the importance of boundaries in a family, setting boundaries, teaching about boundaries, things like that. That's what the book's about. And the reason I wrote it is that there was, I think it was Social Work. If you want to, you can order it from my website, justinontiktok.com, and you'll see it there. There's a hardcover and the soft cover. I have a bunch of soft covers still in stock, and that could go out tomorrow. The hardcovers are on there. I ran out of hardcovers. They're on their way. So, but that is what it's about. Well, that's Jenny, because you're a good person. That's why. But yeah, that's what I wrote. There was not, so I wrote it because I looked for a resource and I spoke to therapists about resources and I couldn't find one. So I wrote it and then I sent it to some therapists to have them review it to make sure that they thought it was, okay. And that it was, age appropriate, appropriate for kids. It explained it in a way that was healthy. And once we kind of fine tuned it, I didn't self-publish. It was published through an actual publisher. And yeah. Social workers are incredibly underappreciated. Can I read it to us? Yeah, why not? Do y'all want to? A lot of people are gonna like God. Do y'all want me to read? How many people want me to read it? If y'all want me to read it, show of hands on the stuff. Can I share this to the group? Yeah, absolutely. Please do, Katie. I'm in a couple narcissistic groups, so I'm not allowed to share it. But yeah, please do. Okay, we can read it. We'll do it on here. So the book is called Boundaries. We'll just do it. Y'all know if y'all said yes. Nobody said no. So there you go. If people don't want to hear it, they'll scroll on and come back. All right. Read the whole thing. In a I'll do this. In a cozy little town, there lived a bright and curious child named Victoria. She loved her puppies, her friends, and most of all, her family. Her family loved her too, very much, and they were always there to shower her with love and care. Her mom's parents and her aunts and uncles were regular visitors, bringing gifts and spending lots of time with Victoria, making her feel cherished and special. She adored playing with her cousins, and family gatherings were always filled with laughter and joy. I don't know how to pen a section of a live. I have no clue how to do that. But I am going to eventually read this on YouTube. I might even do it tonight, and that'll be a YouTube there as well of it. However, as Victoria grew older, she began to wonder about something important. Where are Daddy's parents, she thought. Why haven't I ever seen them or met them? Why doesn't Daddy talk about them? Why don't they spend time with me like the rest of my family? One evening, while her mommy and daddy were playing with her, Victoria mustered the courage to ask her parents about it. Daddy, she asked hesitantly, why don't we ever see Grandma and Grandpa? I mean, your mom and dad. Her parents exchanged a knowing glance before her dad responded gently. Victoria, sometimes families need to set boundaries to ensure everyone's well-being, he explained. Your grandparents have certain boundaries or behaviors, that can be challenging for us to handle. Behaviors that aren't good for us or for you. Their actions could potentially harm our family, so we made the difficult decision to limit contact with them. No, I don't think most of my family knows I wrote the book, to be quite frank with you. Her mom added, we believe in treating people with kindness and respect, and we want you to grow up in a positive, loving, and nurturing environment. Unfortunately, your grandparents have a hard time showing love and nurturing in a way that we need, and their love sometimes comes with conditions. What are conditions? Victoria curiously asked. Her dad gently explained, it means that they want you to act a certain way or believe what they do in order for them to be nice to you. Your mom and I want to protect you from that, so we set boundaries, but they didn't want to respect them. What are boundaries? She asked. Boundaries are like special rules that we create to make sure everyone in our family feels happy and treated kindly. It's like drawing an invisible line that says, here's how we want to be treated. For example, if someone says something mean or hurts our feelings, we can tell them, please don't say hurtful things to me. Let's use kind words instead. That's setting a boundary. Setting boundaries helps us feel safe and loved because we know our family cares about how we feel. It's like making a special promise to treat each other with respect and kindness. And guess what? We can also respect each other's boundaries. So if you tell me I need some quiet time to play alone, I'll understand and give you the space you need. Remember, boundaries are all about love and making a family a happy and peaceful place where we can all be our best selves. Victoria nodded thoughtfully, beginning to understand the importance of boundaries. So it's about taking care of ourselves and making sure we feel good about our family life, she asked. Exactly, her parents smiled. We love you unconditionally and want to create a happy and safe family environment for you. Sometimes love means making tough choices for the well-being of everyone. Oh, thank you, Blonde. I appreciate that. Hopefully in a good way. I think that's a good way, I'm sure. As the days went by, Victoria learned more about boundaries and how they could coexist with love. She appreciated her parents' honesty and found comfort in the warmth of her family's embrace. The end. It doesn't say the end. I just added that. But there you go. That's the book. So if any of y'all want to order it, y'all are welcome to. JustinOnTikTok.com. You'll see it there. You're very welcome. Thank y'all for asking, and thank y'all for showing interest. But then y'all are welcome to order it. And anybody, I will say, I only have the paperbacks here now. But if anybody orders, when I get the hardbacks, I'll do this too. But anybody who orders a book paperback that I have, since I do have them here, I will sign them on live for y'all. So yeah, we tried to explain it. I didn't want to vilify that person, the people that were against it. It's a problem with 26% of millennials and Gen Z that, that we go through this. A lot of us have children, and, it's also important that children know about boundaries. So, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that so much. Somebody donated a book. They bought one to donate, for me to donate. And it was Emily. I don't know if Emily's in here right now, but I dropped it off at a therapist today for it. Yeah. If you want a paperback, I'll sign it live for sure. You're watching till you're on a date. Must be a good date. I do think it's good for adults too. I've had a lot of adults tell me that, and even for their older kids, it's rated for 4 to 8, I think. Yeah. But I've heard people with older kids, 12, 13, 14, have really gotten a lot out of it. I've been told that adults like it really helped their inner child. So I am still, it's up to you. Well, Emily, just to let you know, I dropped it off today. It went into good hands. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate that. It is a tough subject. There needed to be a tough it needed a way to do it. So that's why we did it. You have to. But like I said, anybody who wants to order one, I will sign it on live with y'all. I can dedicate it. So where do you purchase? You do it by going to you go to my website, go to JustinOnTikTok.com, and you can scroll down and you'll see the hardcover, the soft cover, and an ebook. The ebook's overpriced. Don't order the ebook, but I might take it off and replace it with merch. But the hardcover is back ordered, but once I get it in, I will sign it and send it off. And you can actually write a note for inscriptions. If you do a soft cover, then I'll sign it in front of you. You also have boundaries with my son's grandparents. I think you have to have boundaries. That's the whole purpose of it. It's oftentimes oftentimes in these situations, it's the grandparents who you're trying to put these boundaries with. A lot of times it can be aunts and uncles, siblings, etc. So it really just kind of depends, Her boundaries. I've never heard of PESI. Let me do a quick Google. Okay. I can reach out to them. I don't know if they would carry it, but I'd be interested to. Well, they might though. They might. Okay, I'll reach out to them. I'm going to see, how do you contact them? Oh, they even have a kids section. They might, you know what? You don't know till you try. A lot has been lost for want of asking, right? And there's a contact. So yeah, I'll send them a message tonight. Thank you for that. Thank you for that suggestion. Anyways, thank you, Tony. So what else would you guys like to chat about? 20K likes, yay. That's awesome. Thank y'all. Oh, I see Ashley ordered. All right, when Ashley comes back, we'll see what she wants to say. I gotta get my sign-in marker out. I'm almost done with the Britney Spears book. I was reading it, and then I got kind of, sidetracked, I suppose. I was listening to it. I was listening to it on Audible. Can you sign up for Finn? I absolutely can. Anything specific you want me to say, or do you want me to just kind of wing it? The book, I find the book interesting by Brittany. I think that it had a lot more hype. No, just wing it. He's 5 years older than my nephew. Gotcha. Okay. I write in cursive. I'm sorry. Chin's going to love that I said that. I can't help myself, so y'all might have to translate it to him. If y'all order for me, I will write y'all a novel in these things. There you go, Ashley. That's yours. It is a very hard habit to break, and I don't want to. Who designs my products? I need all of it. So it's actually a friend of mine. He might still be in here. His name is Josh, and he has been helping me with it. And there's actually some amazing. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can show y'all. Maybe I can show y'all. Hold on. Anybody else who wants to order? So Ashley, this one is yours. It is going to you. It'll go out tomorrow. All right, we got another one. Melinda ordered. Let me get it pulled up. Melinda, what do you want yours? Does anybody you want yours put to? We got a little bit of a crease in it. That'll be a donate one. Melinda, what do you want yours to say? You're very welcome. Thank you. Where did my thing go? To Jordan, my daughter. Anything you want me to say specific? I like how you spelled Jordan. That's cool. Or do you want me to wing it too? I don't have a son, so I think that might have been somebody else. Oh, Victor C6. Okay, I got you. All right, even if they don't understand now, they'll understand in the future. Okay, there you go. I'll show you. That's not it. There you go. That is for her. Oh, I'm glad. I appreciate y'all first doing it. Because I thought about if Southwest is safe flying. I have no qualms for Southwest at all. I've flown Southwest many times. Easy airline. Get there early though, so you get a good. Make sure you check in early so you get a good boarding group. That's the most important thing. Oh yeah, I was going to show y'all some of the merch that's coming out. I'm going to try to work on it tonight too. Let me get. Hold on, guys. I can't show. Well, You know what? I'm going to shut down on stream here because there aren't that many people on the YouTube and the Insta anymore. So I'm going to end the stream there, and then we'll go back to TikTok. So thank everybody who's been watching on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you guys so much. We will be doing this again, hopefully in the near future, a little bit more organized too.